Hi guys, welcome back. Today is going to be a short but sweet little video on the top 5 most challenging things that I've found having twins. These are kind of things that I hadn't thought about or had thought about, but kind of were so different than what I expected. I went into motherhood pretty clueless, to be honest. I've never been around that many babies and I've never been into babies really. I knew I wanted to have a family one day, but I was never like one of those girls that couldn't wait to have a baby really young. And none of my friends had children until recently that I saw anyway, so I haven't really been in contact with any babies. I've got half sisters that have had children, but I haven't been near to them. So yeah, in terms of like holding babies and entertaining babies, I couldn't even tell you like one or two times that I've done that. Like I don't even remember. I know I was about 7 when my half sister first had her first boy, and I remember them coming around and me holding him, and I was scared to death that I was gonna like hurt the baby, but I was so young. And then as I've got older, my friends back in the UK have had children, but I've been away from home, so I haven't really had much time with them, unfortunately. So yeah, I haven't been around babies. And then my brother's had a baby while I've been away last year, and I've actually only met Albert once, I think, sadly. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I went into motherhood completely clueless, and I've always felt awkward around small babies because they just seem so precious to me, and people always offer for you to hold their baby, and I've been like, no. So yeah, I was nervous about how I would be when they were mine, but I always kind of felt confident in the fact that it's mother's instinct and I'll just know what to do. And yeah, I guess you do. Like the moment they handed me Henry and Jack, it just felt like I'd always had them. Like there was no like awkwardness. And I was like, oh, I won't know how to change a diaper and I won't know how to do this and that, but you just pick it up straight away, and it's like you never didn't know how to do it. So in that respect, everything just slotted into place. But yeah, I was never worried that I wouldn't be able to handle it. I guess you could say I was confidently clueless in how to look after a baby. So anyway, let's get started. As I said, this is going to be a short sweet video because I'm just covering 5 of what I found the most challenging moments so far. My boys have just turned 4 months, so I'll probably do another one of these maybe when they turn 8 months or a year or something, and I'm sure those 5 things would be different, but so far this is what I found most challenging. So number 1 would be the very first couple of months, maybe the first month, 1 to 2 months, gas pain and wind pain. Like every time they cried, it was pretty much because they had trapped wind. And I didn't really understand that. When I had the doula over for the one day that I had a doula, she was like, they're crying because they have trapped wind, and she was like, you just need to keep winding them. And it was almost that you could hold the baby up for 15 minutes after feeding and literally just burp them for 15 minutes and that would help, but you don't normally have 15 minutes. And with 2, I had to be putting one down, as I was most of the time on my own when I was feeding them. So yeah, winding was something that was huge for me, and the fussiness and crying that went around wind pain was amazing. Like so much crying because of just a burp. Number 2, just how heavy the boys are. I mean, they were born at 6'3" and 6'14", so that's pretty small for a baby. I mean, if you have a singleton, they're normally higher, on the higher end of that, but they grow so quickly. And after 2 months, I had such bad back pain. I actually did something to my back, and I think it's just trapped nerves or pulled muscle or something, but I never ever dreamt that I would be bending, picking a baby up, putting a baby down. Like I just seemed to be all day putting them down, picking them up, putting them down, picking them up, putting them down. And it's increasingly got worse and worse because now they're at that stage where they're just not happy for more than about 10 minutes in one place, and you're bending again, you're picking them up. So yeah, I actually can't wait until they can crawl now, and probably will regret that when it happens, but I'm just looking forward to not having to be able to pick them up every second when they're fussing or crying. I know there was something else that went along with that. I can't remember, but I'll insert it here. If I do remember, I'll put it in here. So number 3, bath time. Guys, bath time was insanely hard, and I never thought about it. I never thought about how I was going to handle bath time. I just imagined them both sitting in their little seats and me washing them, and it would all be hunky-dory. I mean, first they hated the water, so that was a huge thing. It was like intense screaming the minute they went in the bath, which just stresses you out. Any mum will know the minute they start crying like that, it's just very hard to like not rush what you're doing, even though you know that they just don't like the water. It's like, quick, can I do this as quickly as possible just to stop the crying? So yeah, there was a few days or weeks there that I tried to do it myself and bath the both of them, and I just realized that this was just too stressful and it wasn't helping anyone. So I would advise, if you are expecting twins, make sure your partner knows that he needs to be present during bath time, because it is pretty impossible to do it yourself. And if you do have to do it yourself, I would recommend bathing one baby one night and the other baby the other night, and switching it, because it's going to be hard work until they really enjoy the water. It's just not easy. So yeah, we're at 4 months with our boys, and Alid, my husband, actually goes in the bath with them. We found that this is the easiest, quickest way. They still can't hold themselves up and sit upright, so even if they're in their bath seats, we need to kind of balance their heads and help them in that respect. So the easiest way is for somebody to get into the bath and wash them, and the other person to be bringing the baby back and forth and changing them and dressing them, etc., which I get landed with, which isn't the funnest job, but my husband doesn't get to feed or anything like that, as I'm still breastfeeding them. So it's his time to bond with them, and he actually really loves that. So he does that every other night. We do now, because of their routine, and they have started to enjoy it, which is lovely to see. So that's one thing. It's very fun, but it's also very stressful in the beginning. We've had some nights where they've just been screaming for the whole 30 minutes or whatever it's taken us to get them bathed and changed and ready for bed. So yeah, and we have just learned that if they are slightly overtired, do not try and bath them. Just forget the nighttime routine and get them down to sleep, because we didn't realize that they were overtired the other night and we bathed them and it was hell. Never again. So yeah, that's my number. I think I'm on 3. Am I on 3? So number 4. Number 4 is the big one, breastfeeding. Yeah? Oh, he's crying a lot. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm sorry about that. We have a very unhappy little baby here, don't we? Gonna say hi? Gonna say hi? He doesn't look unhappy, but he is. He will not let us put him down. Somebody needs to go to the toilet. This happens every week. And the day before he goes to the toilet, you have a lot of crying. So yeah, I was just talking about how I feed you. So yeah, the all-time number 1 hardest thing probably is breastfeeding. Let me just shift forward a bit. It's focusing on him and not me, I think. So yeah, I was really, this is the one topic that I was really nervous about and really worried about. I never saw myself being able to breastfeed, and I thought it was going to be an absolute minefield and I would never get the hang of it. And thank God it wasn't that difficult from the get-go. Like, I guess it kind of came naturally to me a little bit. Don't get me wrong, there was times that were hell. I think probably about the 4th week from having them getting home, I was like in so much pain, and I was like, I'm gonna have to stop this. I think they were going through like a really big growth spurt, and they were just hungry all the time, and it was just so painful, and I thought I was gonna have to stop. But if you have twins and you get to that point, I promise you, keep going. It gets so much better. And yeah, I still have my days where I think this is so bad and I just want to stop, but on the whole it's so much better now, and it's so quick and easy. At the beginning they were feeding for like half an hour each, and I did not start, that's another point, I did not start tandem feeding them because I was so nervous that I couldn't do it, and that it was just overwhelmingly, the thought of it was overwhelming me. And I think the 3rd week after getting home from the hospital, so that would have been like they were 4 weeks old, 1 month old, I thought, right, come on Natalie, you need to give it a go. And I never looked back. Once I got the hang of it, it was like, this saves so much time, so much time. I was spending probably an hour, if not more, with all the burping and everything, feeding them, and then they were slightly out of time for feeding anyway. that I had no day left. Like, I couldn't get anything done. I couldn't go anywhere with Alid really, because I would just be feeding all the time. So yeah, I didn't look back, and tandem feeding them has been incredible. So much quicker. Yes, it comes with its own set of problems, and it's very hard now that they're bigger to shift them around. And if one of them gets wind midway through feeding and I need to help them, it's so difficult. But you find a way, and every day's a new challenge. Yeah, feeding was really tough. And I think everyone finds it tough to some extent. I do think I was very lucky to get on with it so well at the beginning, and they kept gaining weight and I had no issues there. But you never know. You never know if they're getting enough milk, or if they're crying because they're hungry. At least with bottle feeding, I guess you have that peace of mind that you know how much they've taken. And also with breastfeeding, I'm pumping, and I never know if I'm pumping enough or too much or what. So it's all a minefield. I still don't know. I just do what I can do and go with each and every problem that we face. But yeah, breastfeeding was intense. So let me see what else I had. But yeah, I was gonna say about feeding, just don't put pressure on yourself. If you come out of the hospital and you're finding it easy, go with it. If you don't do it. I am frightened to even start them on formula because of all the bottles that you need to clean and sterilize and all that. And I've offered them bottles every now and again of breast milk, and it's been a complete drama for us. They're not used to the bottle. It's all a fuss. So that's a whole other thing for me to learn, and I probably will transfer them over as they reach 6 months, just so I can have a bit of my life back and feel a bit more like myself. But we'll see. We're still 2 months away from that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I can tell you about that. But if you are a soon-to-be twin mum, or you have twins and you're listening to this and you haven't tried tandem feeding, give it a go. Even if you're frightened. I was so frightened, and I'm so glad I did it, because I cannot imagine if I was still at this point and not tandem feeding them. You've got a tummy ache, haven't you, and you're really tired. I need to go and try and get him to sleep in a minute. That's why I wanted to make this short and sweet. But the last, number 5 on my list, come here, you want to go this way, will be the guilt that you feel for everything else in your life other than them. Well, I guess they come part of it as well, because you just don't have any time anymore. And I used to give my dog Hendrix so much love, and I used to have so much time for Alid, and I have no time. I haven't cooked one dinner since, well no, that's a lie. I think I've cooked like 3 or 4 dinners since they were born. But I just, honestly, it's the last thing I feel like doing. Alid's been so good with picking up, doing dinners every night. And as far as Hendrix goes, I try to make sure he gets his walks in and we take him to the parks, but I just don't have the time to show him the love and affection that I did. And don't even ask how I cope, because that dog has made me cry numerous amounts of times during this newborn stage. His face, the way he looks at me when he misses, I can tell he just misses me and misses the love that I used to show him. So it's really hard, and you just feel guilty every day. If you're not showing them enough attention, you feel guilty. If you don't have time for your husband, you feel guilty. If you feel like you're just not keeping the house clean or picking up the dishes and things like that, every day I feel like I'm not doing enough and I can't get enough time to do what I want to do. And then there's also, you want a bit of time to relax, right? So, you okay? You're not gonna be sick again? So yeah, I never dreamt that that would be something that I would face, having them. I always knew I'd be pushed for time, but oh sweetheart, this. But yeah, I never imagined to feel so guilty all the time, and it is really horrible. I'm looking forward to not feeling like that, having a bit more time for everyone, if that ever happens. But yeah, they are my top 5 most challenging topics so far with having newborn twins. I'm excited to see how that changes in the next few months, and if there's different things that I found hard, but so far they are the hardest things. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry it was very short, but it's currently the day before New Year's Eve. We're in that period of like Christmas, New Year, like slobbing out, not doing anything, and The house is a state. We still haven't put away presents and things like that. We still haven't finished our turkey, and we're just taking it easy and chilling out. But I wanted to get some videos recorded for next week. So yeah, I hope you like this one, and I hope it helps someone out there just to be prepared for when your twins come along, because there's some things that I didn't know that came unexpected for me. And I hope... Okay. I'm gonna have to go and take him, but bye guys. If you liked this one, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.